Sight for White newsletter, Autumn 2023. Your local sight loss charity. Spotlight on Maggie. Meet volunteer Lynn. Meet our trustees. NHS Transport. Dress for Less. Free water butt, plus much more. Millbrook House, 137 Carriagebrook Road, Newport, PO30 1DD. Charity number 1149415. Company number 6240404. And the front cover shows Maggie about to throw an axe.
Hello and welcome to our autumn newsletter. I think, as always, you will find it full of interest and support. I was pleased to hear that our bees are now settled in their new home with a new queen. We are going ahead with plans to resurface the drive now that the space has been cleared. Dress for Less is proving very popular, and Debbie, Tracy and our lovely shop volunteers keep it looking immaculate. If you can, look us up on Facebook. New additions to the clothing range are advertised here. I hope all our story writers are ready with ideas for this year's competition. All the information you need is on our poster. I'm always so impressed by the imagination and high standard of all our entrants. I think that the articles on patient transport, the priority service register, and the Be My Eyes update are so very helpful. If you want to test your island knowledge, head for Terry's quiz. Thank you, Terry, for composing these. I always learn something new.
This is Lisa reading the CEO update. Welcome to our autumn newsletter. We have added a new section which we hope will be well received. We have added member questions. For example, we were asked about patient transport for hospital appointments, so we have added an article with all of the information that we have found. Further, we were asked about trusted tradespeople and whether NHS prescriptions are automatically free of charge if you are registered blind. These member questions are in addition to our usual staff updates, tips for members, and an article on priority registers, which I recently enlisted on myself. We will be holding the charity's AGM on November the 17th with a lunch at the Isle of Wight College, to which everyone is invited. We will be doing a short presentation on what we have done in the year to the 31st of March 2023 and how the plans we made for 2024 are going. Tickets are £11.50 for a 3-course lunch. We will be arranging transport. Although not officially a Christmas meal, we will be wishing everybody a happy Christmas with a chance to meet the new trustees too. Numbers are limited to 60, so please contact Susan. I would also like to confirm the dates for the next feedback and catch-up meetings. These meetings are a chance for anyone to come to us and tell us what you thought of the interaction with us and tell us how you think we can improve and what we can add to our activities and services. The White Sense client meeting is Wednesday the 29th of November at 11:30am. The Sight for White members meeting is Wednesday the 6th of December at 11:30am. Finally, don't forget the short story writing competition closing date is Friday the 3rd of November at 5pm.
Members' activities. Weekly, by appointment, we have Sam on hand to give one-to-one help with accessibility features on your computer, laptop, tablet or phone. It is essential you pre-book, so please call ahead. Please note, we will help as much as we can, but if you are looking for lessons on how to use a computer, then please contact us for Age UK course dates.
Monday. Swimming at Medina Leisure Centre, Newport, term time only, between 1:15pm and 2:15pm. The cost is £6 and £2.50 local transport, Newport area, but £3.50 for wider transport, i.e. ride area.
Tuesday, yoga at Millbrook House between 1:45 p.m. and 2:45 p.m. Come along and try gentle exercise. Just £4, which includes refreshments.
Wednesday, coffee and chat at Millbrook House between 10 a.m. and 11:30 a.m. All are welcome to join us for coffee and cake. The cost is £2 and the group is open to everyone. We have regular visitors to this group, for example, the ECLO, the Macular Society and many others. So please call Susan for more information.
Thursday, mix and mingle at Millbrook House between 10:30 a.m. and 2 p.m. Planned activities include craft, quizzes and entertainment. The cost is £4 plus £3.50 for transport if required. Pre-booking is essential.
The next Sight for White members feedback and chat is Wednesday the 6th of December at 11:30 a.m. For anyone who has used the White Sense service, the next feedback session is Wednesday the 29th of November, again at 11:30 a.m.
Fortnightly tennis is held at Ryde Mead Tennis Club on Mondays between 9:30 a.m. and 10:30 a.m. The club is behind Yalf's in Church Lane, Ryde. Volunteers of the club are on hand to assist. This is weather dependent through the winter.
Monthly groups. First Tuesday of the month. God's Hill Coffee Morning, 10:30 a.m. to 12 p.m. held at the Old Smithy Coffee Shop, God's Hill. Volunteers Yvonne and Linda will be on hand to chat every month.
First Thursday of the month, the audio book group held at the Lord Louis Library, Newport, between 2 p.m. and 3 p.m. This group is free to attend. You will receive a USB stick or CD from the RNIB, and then the group will discuss the book at the following meeting.
Second Tuesday of the month. Our Place Community Cafe at West White Sports Centre, Mower Place, Freshwater, 10:30 a.m. A member of staff will always be there.
Fourth Wednesday of the month, Ion Social held at Millbrook House between 2 p.m. and 3:30 p.m. Invited guest speakers will be giving talks on a variety of topics. The group is open to everyone, members, volunteers and friends, so please come along. The cost is £3, which includes refreshments. The next meeting is Wednesday the 25th of October.
Fourth Thursday of the month. Our Place in Ventnor at St Catherine's Church, Ventnor, between 10:30 a.m. and 1:30 p.m. A member of staff will be on hand.
Last Friday of the month, Striders is for members who enjoy walking. There are 2 groups, first 3 to 4 miles and the second around 6 miles. The cost is £4 plus £3.50 for transport.
Last Sunday of the month. Golf at Westridge Golf Centre Ride. Members enjoy 45 minutes on the driving range with an instructor available to help the complete novice to those playing regularly. It is usually the last Sunday of the month, but always call the office to confirm.
Activities do get booked up, so please do not hesitate.
Free water butts. The Footprint Trust is an energy advice charity that has been running for 20 years. Their mission is to reduce the ecological impact of the Isle of Wight. They are now offering a free water butt installed to anyone on the island who wants one while stocks last. With Connect for Communities and W. Hurst & Son, they are really excited about their new project. They will be helping people save water and money by installing a water butt in their garden or allotment. By doing this, people can save up to 200 litres of water, which in turn helps them use less tap water and save money on their water bill. Not only will clients be receiving a lovely new water butt kit, they will also get a handy grow-it-yourself starter set with seeds, compost and trays too. If you would like a water butt, please contact the Footprint Trust for more information. Email info@footprinttrust.co.uk or phone 01983 822282.
100 Club. Winners this time are Sue, Chris and Denise. Congratulations. A very warm welcome to Peter, Jill, Denise and Caroline. If you would like to join the Sight for Wight 100 Club, it is just £2 a month and you are helping to support us too.
Members' questions read by Paula. We are often asked questions by members which we, of course, research and answer. These often form the basis for articles in this newsletter. This quarter, we have been asked about trusted traders, NHS prescriptions and patient transport. So here are the answers. Approved traders. Isle of Wight Approved Trader Scheme. We have been asked for recommendations for local tradespeople. Here on the island, who can be trusted? Whilst we do have a few people we use here at Millbrook House, they are not usually available at short notice. So we thought the best way to offer help with this was to point people to some approved traders. The Isle of Wight Council operate a trader approved scheme where each local business has given their commitment to trading fairly. Every business listed has undergone a detailed background check before being approved as a member of the scheme by the Isle of Wight Council. Here is the direct link: iwc.iow.gov.uk/TAS. Secondly, Checkatrade is also a national version of the same sort of scheme, with every tradesperson having passed up to 12 rigorous checks. There are over 6 million posted reviews from verified customers to browse when looking for a tradesperson. They do offer a basic guarantee on work done, but it is subject to many terms and conditions. Their site is www.checkatrade.com. If you need any help using these sites, please call the office and Karen can help you.
Member questions. Free NHS prescriptions. Some people can obtain free NHS prescriptions on medical grounds, or if they are living on a low income. So we were asked, does being blind entitle you to a free prescriptions? The short answer is no. Being registered as severely sight impaired, blind, or sight impaired, partially sighted, does not automatically entitle you to free prescriptions. The scheme states you can obtain medical exemption and therefore obtain free prescriptions if you are under 16 or 16 to 18 in full-time education, you are aged 60 or over, are pregnant and have a valid maternity exemption certificate, hold a valid medical exemption certificate, hold a valid war pension exemption certificate, are an NHS inpatient, have a continuing physical disability that prevents you from going out without help from another person.
Volunteer update. As always, I would like to welcome all our new wonderful volunteers to this newsletter. We are very fortunate to have so many volunteers who enable us to support our members through activities, services and events, as well as work within our fabulous dress agency shop. Although August is always a shutdown for groups, our volunteers are kept busy with the Talking News, audio library, Dress for Less and our fundraising team, which has been kept busy with Wolverton, Newport Carnival, Isle of Wight Day, Pudding and Quiz, the Open Day and Bucket collections, which I thank all of you for your continuous support in all aspects of the charity. A date for your diary is November the 28th for our volunteer catch-up at Millbrook House between 10 a.m. and 12 p.m. This is an opportunity for volunteers to meet with one another and enjoy coffee and cake. As always, if anyone would like to volunteer or knows somebody who has time on their hands, we are always looking for new volunteers, especially in our education programme, Talking News team, Dress for Less shop, striders, swimming assistants, drivers and minibus drivers and escorts. Please do not hesitate to contact me in the office on 52205. Thank you, as always, Susan.
This is Lisa reading Priority Service Registers. The Priority Service Register is a free UK-wide service which provides extra advice and support, including when there's an interruption to your electricity, gas or water supply. The Priority Register, known as PSR, is free to join. It helps utilities companies, including energy suppliers, electricity, gas and water networks, to look after their customers who have extra communication, access or safety needs. It helps them tailor their service to support households who need extra help with everyday energy matters like bills, and also in the unlikely event of a power cut, gas or water service interruption. In order to be added to the register, these are some of the criteria. 1. Are of pensionable age. 2. Are deaf or hard of hearing. 3. Have a disability. 4. Are blind or partially sighted. 5. Use medical equipment. To register, if you live here on the island, please contact each of the providers below. These are the network providers, not your energy suppliers, as you need to register with the network supplier. Gas 0800 975 1818. That is gas 0800 975 1818. Water 0330 303 0277. That is water 0330 303 0277. And electricity 0800 316 5457. That is electricity 0800 316 5457. Further, your individual energy suppliers can also help. For example, provide a backup battery for your phone in case of loss of power. To find out what your own suppliers offers, just call the person you pay your bill to.
Befriending. What is befriending? In order to tackle loneliness and isolation, Sight for White runs a befriending service where trained volunteers call isolated visually impaired people and spend some time chatting with them on the telephone and to hear their stories. Befriending calls are tremendously helpful in battling the problem of loneliness and isolation because they show people that others care about them and that they have somebody they can talk to. Befrienders also serve as a link to a wider network of support available for vulnerable people and can ring the alarm bells if, for example, a person experiences any undue harm. For people without family members close by, this support can be invaluable. Who do we support? We support people who are visually impaired, who live alone and are lonely and/or isolated and are looking for companionship. After every referral, our well-trained befriending manager speaks to each potential client to assess whether they would really benefit from befriending. We never leave anyone hanging. If somebody is deemed not suitable, we try to find other more suitable options for them in discussion with the referring agency. A close relationship is created.
Karen Chessel. Access to information. A person is regarded as deaf-blind if their combined sight and hearing impairment cause difficulties with communication, access to information and mobility. In the last newsletter I talked about communication, so this time I will talk about access to information. Equipment can help a deaf-blind person to access information. If you meet the criteria, the type of equipment that is available for long-term loan from WaitSense are TV listeners, so that the TV for news programmes, for example, can be heard without making it too loud for others. We also issue daylight lamps and daylight bulbs. This can help a person with reading post, paperwork and books. Although WaitSense do not issue magnifying equipment, we are able to refer to the low vision aid service at the hospital. Sight for White usually have screen readers available to demonstrate and always have Alexas available for free loan. The Sight for White skill can be accessed from these devices with our weekly Talking News.
Hi, my name is Lynn Patey, and I've been a volunteer at Sight for White for around 4 years. I'm a keen walker, although age and COVID lockdowns have made the distance I walk a bit less nowadays. I saw an advert in the county press asking for volunteers to walk with the Striders group. I found out that this group walked in the countryside for about 5 to 8 miles and then had lunch in a pub at the end of the walk. I replied to the advert and received a very long list of other things I might like to get involved in. I chose to read the county press at Millbrook House around once a month. I was interviewed, had all my safety checks, and there I was, a volunteer. I had no previous experience of people with a visual impairment. I think I was one of those people who thought if you were blind, you just couldn't see anything. However, I do love to be with people and dogs, so meeting up with the group for the first time was quite exciting. I remember thinking that I could tell these people that I was a young, good-looking blonde. But Eric, a member, put me right by explaining that some of the group had partial sight, and so would soon let people know otherwise. Reading the county press is a more sedate job, although I did have to give up on the last occasion because I couldn't stop coughing. We do have to watch for errors in the print, though. I remember I was reading something about gardeners being naturalists, but I read it out as gardeners being naturists. Volunteers get texts from Millbrook House frequently, And if it is something I can do, I will try to help. I have a lot of interests, so I don't like being tied down to something every week. I have a largish garden, which I love, a long-suffering husband, Steve. We look after dogs while their owners are on holiday, and we have a very old camper van in which we like to get away and sit in a field now and then. One thing I like to do is to bake cakes. If I baked a lot at home, we would only eat it all, which would not be good. So if there are times when they need people to knock up a few cakes for an event at Sight for White, I love to do it. So far, they've not sent any back. I always call my husband an unseen, unsung volunteer, as he usually washes up for me. I love the variety of things that you can help out with at Sight for White, helping at shows such as Wolverton, walking in Newport Carnival, such fun, and this week bringing a team to the pudding quiz, plus making a pudding. Thank you, Sight.
Spotlight on Maggie. Hello, dear reader. My name is Maggie, and I've been asked to write a few lines for the newsletter, so here goes. I have been a member of the Society since the early 90s, when I was first registered as being partially sighted. I am one of 3 daughters, and we all have retinitis pigmentosus, RP, inherited from our mum. Once the Society and I were connected, I met Nigel, who taught me cane training and introduced me to the swimming club, where I met Don and Mark, amongst others. At that time, the Society was based at the Polars, and I also was invited to the Wednesday evening group, which was held there. I started working in 1973 in a small office as a ledger clerk, which was located at the back of a large store that sold furniture, bedding, clothes and underwear. It was a real-life "are you being served?" shop. We had an overall manager, office manager and a shop manager. Staff in the shop stood behind glass-topped counters, and the manageress would call on them to serve by saying, "Are you free, Mrs. Bradley?" We even had a cleaner called Mrs. Grimes. A few years later, I started working at H&M Taxis as a clerk, which was more money, and I was shortly to be married. We managed to save a deposit on a small 2-up, 2-down end of terrace property in East Cowes, and so began my married life. We had 3 children and moved several times. I changed jobs and ended up working in a post office. By this time my eyesight was impairing my work, and so I decided it was time to leave. My life dramatically changed, and through a series of unforeseen circumstances, I started a new life. One day, as I was sitting at home wondering what to do, the phone rang, and a lady called Lorraine from the RNIB asked me if I would be interested in learning something new. As she explained that the course was at the Royal College for the Blind in Herefordshire, and I would have to live in. I asked if they accepted students of a more mature age. "Of course," she replied, "and I'll put you down for a massage, okay?" Adding, "We need to be quick as the deadline is next week." So I went and stayed at college in my late 50s. It was fun, but I learned a lot about myself and the suffering others go through. It really opened my eyes, so to speak. I now work with my sister Annie for a charity called the Wessex Cancer Trust, where we are both therapists for people living with cancer and support their families too. I have now met the lovely Susan and Jasmine, who very kindly looked after me when visiting the Grange with some of you guys. Fantastic time was had by all. Sending you all a lovely day and hopefully a smile or two. By Maggie Davis.
Out and About, Isle of Wight Day. Lisa and the trustees went along to the Isle of Wight Day at Brading Roman Villa, with just under 2,000 people attending. This family at Community Day hosted 40 charities there to both raise awareness of what they do and to raise funds.
Wolverton Manor Show. We also attended the Wolverton Manor Show, an iconic island family show hosted at Wolverton Manor. A huge thank you to the volunteers who attended. These shows really bring both fundraising and awareness to Sight for Wight and are so important.
Newport Illuminated Carnival. It was fun decorating the minibus for the Newport Illuminated Carnival this year. Thank you to Morris, Lynn, Gabby and Alan who drove the minibus around and walking in front of it. The pride in our volunteers is humbling as they all tell each and every person what they do and the pleasure they get from it.
Open Studios Weekend. Open Studios is an island-wide annual event for local artists to showcase their work. For the past 6 years, Linda Wright, one of our trustees, has been providing refreshments for the event at Gurnard Village Hall. This year she invited Susan and her team of willing volunteers to make and serve cakes. Not only did we raise funds for our charity, but we also raised awareness of what we do and provided a social facility for visitors to the exhibition.
Supporting us. This quilt was started by Linda, a member of a small quilting group. Sadly, she passed away before she could finish the quilt. Sue, Mo and Heather, the 3 remaining members, put it together and hand quilted it. Linda would have been pleased that the quilt was being raffled to make money for a very worthwhile cause. Please call 52205 or pop into Millbrook House if you'd like to purchase a square. It's £2 per square. The size of the quilt is 68 inches by 79 inches, which is a king size. The raffle will be drawn on Wednesday, the 13th of December.
Christmas raffle. I know it seems very wrong using the Christmas word, but enclosed with your newsletter are your raffle tickets if you wish to purchase them. They are priced at £1 each and you can buy them by calling the office to make a card payment, sending us a cheque or by using our bank details which are included in the covering letter. When we are collecting our raffle prizes from local island companies, it is so inspiring how well known we are and that people are so willing to donate prizes to us. Prizes include our luxury hamper, round of golf for 4, restaurant vouchers, plus many more.
Member support. In my last article, I talked about getting out and about, so this time I wanted to talk about the different types of canes. Did you know canes with red and white depicts both sight and hearing loss? A symbol cane can help alert other people to your sight and or hearing loss and can be folded for easy storage. Symbol canes cannot be used as a walking stick or support aid or to detect obstacles on the ground. Guide canes. Hold a guide cane diagonally across your body and use it to find obstacles in front of you, such as curbs or steps. Long canes. Long canes are rolled or tapped from side to side as you walk to find your way and avoid obstacles. Different tips can be used for different walking terrains. Specialist training is required to use a long or guide cane. Peter, our White Sense Rehabilitation Officer, is able to do this, giving you as much or as little training as you need. He is also able to help with confident trips, using buses and trains on the island, and show you other tricks like using a low vision monocular, small telescope, to aid seeing bus signs and numbers. We also promote wearing a sunflower lanyard called Hidden Disabilities. They act as a discreet sign to others that the wearer has an invisible disability and may require additional assistance. As always, just let me know if you need further information on any of the above or any other assistance. Karen. Picture of different types of long canes and picture of a sunflower lanyard.
Feedback and Catch-Up, read by Chris. Each quarter, we hold our Sight for White and White Sense feedback and catch-up groups here at Millbrook House. These are designed as the chance for anyone who uses any of our services to come in and tell us how they feel about the services they have received. Secondly, and equally importantly, they are a catch-up session where we can feedback what is happening with all our services and activities. These meetings are absolutely vital to us. We are only here to help people, so if we are not succeeding at it, or if there are more ways we can help, please tell us. We know some people are more shy at coming forward, so if you want to send in a question or thought anonymously, no problem. Call without giving a name, email it, or post it. We can print the answer here in the newsletter. Sight for White next meeting, 6th of December, 11:30 a.m. This included a question about one-to-one IT help. Lisa confirmed we had taken delivery of a number of laptops from the Isle of Wight Council, which we are setting up with accessibility features enabled, and they would then be available for any member to have on loan to help them get online. Sam, our IT expert, can offer one-to-one to anyone who needs it. White Sense next meeting, 29th of November, 11:30 a.m. This included a discussion on resurrecting the Rainbow Club, a coffee morning that met around the island once a month for those living with deaf-blindness. It was decided that we would start this again, but widen the reach to include anyone living with hearing loss as well as people living with both sense losses. We will be contacting anyone registered with us and inviting them to come along. Lisa Holyhead.
Tips for members. I struggle to see the buttons on my washing machine when I am doing my washing. My friend suggested I add bump-ons to the buttons I use regularly so I know what to press each time. Sandra from Shanklin. I kept missing the toothbrush when I was trying to squeeze the toothpaste onto it. I found it much easier to squeeze the toothpaste straight into my mouth. Kate from Arrington. If you have any tips to include in our newsletter, please let us know.
Foot Care by Hayley. Hayley has kindly offered our members foot care, including toenail cutting, hard skin removal, callus and corn treatment. Foot cream is then applied with a soothing foot massage. Hayley will be at Millbrook House on a Thursday. If you would like to make a booking, then please call Susan.
Hello, my name is Sue Bungay, and I was first appointed a trustee director in 2014, and I've been the chair since 2019. I spent the majority of my working life as a teacher in island schools and have served as the school governor as well. I've been a trustee for almost 9 years, and I've certainly valued the chance to help shape, support and contribute my time to the charity. I have met so many interesting new people and have had the opportunity to take on new challenges through my involvement with both Sight for White and White Sense. I look forward to continuing to support the charity's aims, which put the needs of our members at the forefront of everything we do. Our staff and volunteers, including the Board of Trustees, make everything possible.
John Moore. I came to the island over 50 years ago to work in engineering at British Hovercraft Corporation, now GKN. I retired in 2009 and put my time to good use, qualifying as a PCV driver, enabling me to drive the island community buses and volunteering with the local police authority. In 2014, I became a volunteer for Sight for White. My clear commitment led me to being invited to become a trustee in 2016. I have worked tirelessly for the charity. I have become their own resident handyman, driver, escort, fundraiser, I am always on hand whenever the charity asks. I said, having now had surgery on both retinas.
Laura Gouljar. 2017 saw Laura join the Board of Trustees with first-hand experience of total sight loss. In 2009, an undiagnosed vitamin deficiency caused Laura to suffer a complete loss of sight in a matter of hours. 2023 saw a huge milestone in her recovery as she has been reissued with her driving licence, albeit on a restricted basis. Laura said, "It has been a privilege to serve as a trustee and to be a part of the many changes which have taken place since I began. With Lisa at the helm, I am truly excited about the direction we are taking as we have clear mission statements with our members, volunteers and sight loss community at the heart of it. I am particularly proud of the work being undertaken to establish a befriending service, as through my role as the Eye Clinic Liaison Officer, also known as an ECLO at St Mary's Hospital, I am told by so many patients how lonely they find themselves at times."
This is Chris Biles, Society Trustee. As an already active member of the charity, I joined the board in 2017 in my first governance role. I bring a breadth of lived experience living with complete sight loss most of my adult life. Some of the issues covered had a complexity that was highly instructive for a relative beginner in the field of charity governance. There have been and continue to be occasions when, as a service user, I am able to carry informed views into our discussions, as well as benefit from being an ongoing participant in a variety of social and recreational activities.
Ruth Hollingshead. Ruth first came to the charity over 30 years ago as a service user, having completed her honours degree in social policy and criminology. She soon began volunteering every week on our reception desk. As our longest serving trustee, appointed in 2012, this year Ruth was deservedly recognised as a coronation champion. Ruth said, "I hope that I can continue to use my own experience of living with sight loss and as a guide dog user to help support other island residents for many more years to come."
Linda Wright. Bringing with her a breadth of charity governance and volunteering experience, Linda was appointed in 2022. Linda has worked within business management, finance and audit, a great addition to the board's skill base. Linda said, "I was delighted to be invited to join the board of this, the island's oldest charity. I am passionate about volunteering for an organisation that supports local people and feel that my skills and
Tony Spalding. Appointed in 2022, Tony has spent his career in marketing, public relations, bringing a clear track record of promoting and publicising relevant messages to the right audience. With previous charity board experience having served as a chair, Tony said, "As a board, we raise awareness of the importance of looking after the health of your eyes and for our members, ensuring they have the right support at the right time, including medical resources, benefits advice and, equally importantly, social opportunities providing support and fellowship." Bridget, Saritha and Alison are our three new trustees whose official appointments will be put forward at our AGM in November. Bridget and Alison have already completed their first fundraising and awareness event at the Isle of Wight Day, playing goal ball, selling items and helping children hook some ducks.
Bridget Preston. Bridget, a former island physical education teacher, has led a full and active life. Married to husband Dave for 51 years, she enjoys singing with a choir, fundraises solely for local charities by taking weekly yoga sessions, and volunteers to help the Isle of Wight Prostate Cancer Support Group. Bridget said, "I look forward to my new role as a trustee and volunteering to take part in some new activities."
Alison Holbrook. Alison is already very well known here, as she's been volunteering since 2019 for both the Talking News and with Jasmine in her education programme. A former special educational needs teacher, Alison said, "Visiting the schools helps children to understand how precious their sight is. Making more people aware of the support they can find for their loved ones experiencing."
Saritha Nodia. Saritha's passion for the art of education on how the brain functions was the basis for a recent master's degree. Saritha said, "It is my goal to bring out the best in everyone, to be empowered to achieve their goal. My mother had glaucoma and macular degeneration, which I supported her through, and I have lived through a retina detachment surgery from which my macula did not open completely. These experiences have given me some insight and empathy for the charity and those we aim to support."
Calendars and diaries available to order from the office. Large print pocket diary, which is A6, 4 inches by 5.8 inches, £6.50. A large print midi diary, which is A5 size, which is 5.8 inches by 8.3 inches, which is £8.50. A large print desk diary, A4 size, which is 8.3 inches by 11.7 inches for £10.50. And we also have the A3 portrait and landscape calendars, which is 16.5 inches by 11.7 inches. That price is £8. The last date, the 17th of November, to ensure December delivery.
NHS Patient Transport, read by Paula. The Patient Transport Service provides transport 7 days a week for service users in cases of medical need for outpatients appointments, admissions, discharge and transfer. It is a non-urgent service and there are strict eligibility criteria based on medical, not social or financial need, and only the patient can travel in it unless they are under 16 or they need specialist care. You must meet one of the following criteria. Your condition and or mobility requires the presence of a qualified patient transport person to care for you. You need to travel as a stretcher patient due to specific medical and or mobility needs. You have a medical condition that would compromise your dignity if public or private transport were used. You require specialist moving and handling support. Inter-hospital transfers, i.e. journeys to specialist units within Southampton and Portsmouth and possibly further afield. And you also need to have a reason for attendance, such as attending an outpatient's clinic for tests or treatment, being admitted to or being discharged from hospital, or attending a booked daycare or treatment centre. Your first appointment will be authorised by your GP, and any future trips will be authorised by the consultant treating you. Please note, if you receive DLA or PIP mobility component, you will not be entitled access to this on mobility grounds alone.
If you are not eligible for this, other transport options exist under the Assisted Hospital to Hospital scheme. The Hospital Car Service, run by volunteer drivers using ordinary cars who can collect patients for appointments if they are not able to drive themselves or use public transport. Car service drivers have no medical training and carry no special equipment. There is a charge for this service of between £6 and £14, dependent upon the distance across the island, and this can increase if mainland travel is required. Payment is always made to the driver at the time of travel. Call 01983 822 099, extension 5443, office hours only. There is also a Community Council voluntary transport service available locally that may be of help. For more information, phone 01983 524 058. Reclaiming travel costs. If the patient received one of the qualifying benefits, they may be able to receive assistance from social funds through the Job Centre Plus office. Patients should claim on the day of appointment by bringing proof of eligibility to their hospital appointment, completing a fares reimbursement claim form, asking the department they attend to stamp and sign the form. Payment claim forms, which are duly filled, will be processed by cashiers at St Mary's Hospital main entrance.
For those who need to travel to the mainland, the following is a summary of what each ferry operator offers, and for those living with cancer, the Daisy Bus service. For all travel, you must pre-book the discounted NHS ticket. Claims cannot be retrospective. You must travel on the day of the appointment and bring written proof of the appointment. Red Funnel Red Jet. A special return passenger ferry fare of £11.80 per person is available for the patient and a companion. Where the patient is a child, the discounted fare is available for up to 2 adults travelling with the child. Please note the fare applies after 8:45 a.m. Although exceptions may be made for earlier appointments, book at the ticket office to get the discount. Red Funnel by car.
Hover Travel. A special return passenger ferry fare of £12.50 per person is available for the patient and a companion. This can be day or period return. Fares can be booked online and you must, like all ferry providers, bring proof of the appointment with you. Daisy Bus from Southampton and Southsea. Primarily for cancer patients, they run 2 minibuses to Queen Alexandra and Southampton General Hospitals. Southsea. Hover Travel donate 10% of every NHS Hover Travel ticket sold to support the Daisy Bus, so please ask for this ticket when purchasing your ticket. Southsea. Pick up 10:30, 11:30, 12:30, 13:30. QA. Pick up 11, 12, 1300, 1400. Minibus mobile 07990 001 072. Southampton Town Quay. Timetable may vary. Town Quay. Pick up 9, 10:20, 11:30, 13:50, 1500 and 16:10. Southampton General. Pick up 9:30, 10:45, 12, 14:20, 15:20 and 15:40. Minibus Mobile 07747 776 874. Lisa Holyhead.
Hello everyone, my name is Tracy and I would like to introduce myself as the newest member of the Dress for Less team. My husband and I have been living on the island coming up for 3 years now. We moved from Basingstoke to help support my father. It has taken us a while to settle, but now we call it home. We have 2 children and 5 grandchildren who all love visiting and spending time on this lovely island. I've worked for many years in retail and have always had a passion for helping people. I love to chat and meet new people, so when the opportunity to join Dress for Less came up, I was thrilled. I must say, from first speaking with Debbie and then meeting Lisa, Ruth and Sue, I knew it would be perfect for me. I've enjoyed every minute. The team of volunteers are all fabulous and selfless in giving their time to the charity and have all been so welcoming. Dress for Less is truly unique, and now that we are in new premises, it really is a special place to work. I would like to thank Sight for White for letting me be part of it. For me, it really is the icing on the cake. I'm looking forward to the rest of the year and hopefully meeting...
This is Lisa reading the White Sense article. White Sense is the rehabilitation service offered to all Isle of Wight residents living with a sense loss that affects their daily living. Anyone can be referred to the service either by themselves or through any other person involved in their lives. A simple phone call starts the process, no complicated forms and certainly no expectations. One of our team of assessors will make contact and start a conversation on how we can help. The White Sense team is made up of Karen, that's Karen with a C, our vision specialist. Karen, like all of our assessors, will visit you at home. You can then have a chat about what it is you want to do and are now finding more difficult. She will visit you at a time that works for you and stay as long as you need her to. Karen, that's Karen with a K, our deaf-blind specialist. Once you have had your first visit, you will agree your goals with your assessor and we can discuss what free loan equipment we can offer to start to help achieving those goals. Paula, our hearing specialist. We will then follow up with further visits to help you achieve what you want and refer you to any other people to...
One Client Story by Paula Matthews, Technical Officer for Hearing Impairment at White Sense. Mrs. T is a lady in her 50s, lives with moderate to severe hearing loss. She got in touch with us to refer herself after being told about the service by a member of staff at Audiology. An appointment was made to go and see her at home to discuss her hearing needs in detail. Mrs. T said she struggles to hear on the telephone, is concerned about leaving her front door unlocked and being able to enjoy the TV with her family. A full assessment was undertaken in the form of a conversation with Mrs. T, and she became quite emotional because she hadn't realised the level of support that was available to her. Following the assessment, I checked Mrs. T's phone to make sure that it was turned up to full volume, which unfortunately it wasn't. So I adjusted it for her, and although she could hear a bit better, it still wasn't good enough for her to have a conversation. We discussed the possibility of a new phone which needed to be cordless. I gave her some options and suggested she might like to try the BT 4600 model because the feedback I've had from people who have bought it is very favourable. I explained that it has a hands-free function which can increase the volume for her should she need it. We talked about anxiety and how it escalates due to her hearing loss. She said that she gets very worried about leaving her front door unlocked because anyone can walk in, and she wouldn't know. I demonstrated a loud flashing doorbell to her. We discussed the TV and she said that she feels very antisocial because of the volume she needs to have it at. She said she would love to be able to hear the TV and enjoy watching with her family again. She said she is aware that her poor hearing is impacting her family life, especially the TV. She would like very much to try and minimise this impact as much as she can. I demonstrated some TV listening equipment and Mrs. T was so impressed by the difference it made. She could hear the TV perfectly at a volume that she needs without having to turn the TV up. The doorbell and TV listening system were issued on a long-term loan basis, and Mrs. T was made aware that should she have any further difficulties as far as her hearing is concerned, she can get back in touch with us and someone would go and see her again. Mrs. T was extremely grateful for the service that she had received and will come back to us in the future if we can be of help.
Open Day, read by Chris. We want to thank everyone who contributed to our Open Day. This time, we tried to create a much more community feel, and certainly, judging on how much cake we went through, we achieved this. We had a wide variety of other organisations attend, offering people the chance to speak to them directly under one roof. I am delighted to say that 69% of people who walked through the door were completely new to Sight for White, which is exactly what we are trying to achieve. We also wanted to ensure as many people as possible know of what we and other organisations do here on the island. As everybody left, I asked how they had found the day and was delighted to receive such comments as, "I never knew there was a Blind Veterans Association here on the island. They were so engaging. I will definitely be in touch with them. I can barely carry my bag full of goodies. Talking kitchen equipment is so expensive. Buying second-hand from you saves me money and stops these items being thrown out. Thank you. I'm so glad I came." The digital magnifier that reads out the text to me but fits in my handbag too. Hasn't technology moved on? I'll get my grandson to show me how to work it, as I'll probably forget before I get home. I love it when my grandchildren come round.
(2024) Day. From 2024, we will now be holding the event annually. The date for 2024 has been set for September. We will confirm the exact date and venue in our next newsletter, as we are looking at all options in Newport. We will be inviting other local organisations who are here to help you, as an individual, achieve your own goals and wishes, so please look out for the confirmed date and we will see you there. Of course, lots of homemade cakes too.
Millbrook House. Whilst our open day is an important day, we are always here at Millbrook House to assist you and give help and support when you need it. We have in stock for both trial and demonstration equipment. The best day to pop in is Wednesday mornings when Karen is on hand to help us as we hold our coffee morning from 10 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. so you can pop in and say hello.
Christmas closure. Please note that Millbrook House will be closing for the Christmas holiday period from 12 o'clock on Friday the 15th of December and reopening on Tuesday the 2nd of January 2024.
Bee update. Our very kind bee experts have given us an update on the progress of the bees since they were rehomed from Millbrook House. They now have a new queen from the cells put in from another hive. It's quite difficult for this to happen so late on in the summer, but they are such happy, calm bees now, and our bee experts weren't attacked once by our guard bee as they were very aggressive during the move. But since receiving cells from a calm hive, this will produce calm bees in the spring. They are making a very red honey, so it's unknown what they have been foraging on, but this is being left for them for the winter to eat. They will be fed from December onwards and get them through to spring. Our bee expert said they were feral bees, and I had never known such cross bees, but by having a gentle queen from our bees, it's changed them. When we first had them, several guard bees followed me over half a mile up the country lane to attack, and I could not shake them off and could not take off my bee suit.
Sight for White Short Story Writing Competition Awards Ceremony 2023. Winners announced. 7 p.m, Friday the 8th of December, Riverside Centre, Newport. Doors open at 6:30 p.m. Entertainment from Huxley Magician and Ben Stubbs. It's fun. It's festive. It's free. sightforwhite.org.uk is our web address, or you can call 01983 522 05. And there's
Mortal Kombat Game Review. My name is Aaron Danvers Dukes, and I am a totally blind person. I come here to inform you that I have learnt about some video games with accessibility. There are 2 games coming up in very rapid succession, and I am reviewing one this quarter. Mortal Kombat. Release September 19th for Standard Edition, September 14th for Premium Edition for Xbox Series S, Xbox Series X, PlayStation 5, PC Stream Store and Nintendo Switch. Developed by NetherRealm Studios. I have first-hand experience as I took part in a public beta test which was available because I pre-ordered the game. I came away very impressed. This game included a screen reader, audio description and audio sliders for various sounds that can help the blind, such as sound which changes depending on the distance of your opponent, which is a ticking sound, and a sound that plays and changes depending on what position of attack you get hit with. High, medium or low hitting attacks all have their own distant tones, which can be enabled in the options via the attack type volume slider. The screen reader worked very well in the beta with a few caveats, which I have reported back on. The audio mix is also extremely customizable. You can set sliders for almost every sound type in the game. This is where you can also turn on your accessibility cues. The full version will contain a story mode with audio described scenes, and the story mode will be playable start to finish by the blind. The Premium Edition will give you some extra characters after the game release, such as Homelander from The Boys or Omni-Man from The Invisible as guest characters.
Well, hello everybody. Here we are again with the latest selection of Terry's 20 teasers. Are you ready? Off we go. The first 5 questions are about autumn. Number 1. Why do most leaves turn brown in autumn? Number 2. Approximately what date is the autumn equinox? Number 3. What is the average November temperature on the Isle of Wight during the daytime? Number 4. What is autumn known as in North America? And number 5. What is firework night or bonfire night commemorating? Right, your first 5 questions there. The next 5 are about music. Number 6. Who released the song Budapest in 2014? Number 7. What musical instrument is sometimes referred to as a licorice stick? Number 8. How many symphonies did Joseph Haydn, the Austrian composer, write? Number 9. Where do the all-female group Little Mix come from? And number 10. Who wrote the music for Guys and Dolls? Okay, the next 5 are, loosely speaking, world knowledge. But don't worry, it's not particularly political, I don't think. Number 11. Is New Zealand time ahead or behind British time? Number 12. Talking of time, when did time become officially standardised across Britain? Number 13. Who's the current POTUS or POTUS? P-O-T-U-S. Bit tricky, that one. Unless, of course, you happen to know it. Number 14. Which 2 nations are way ahead of any others in terms of population numbers? And number 15. How much of the surface of the Earth is covered with water? Approximately, anyway. And the last 5 questions are just entitled Potluck. So here we go with question 16. What is a flittermouse? Number 17. What are the 4 main types of bear? And teddy does not count as one of them, I'm afraid. 18. How many railway stations did Ventnor once have? Number 19. What's the name of John Buchan's famous story? And here are the answers. Most leaves turn brown in autumn because there's less sun, and so the chlorophyll breaks down, and the chlorophyll is the sort of greening agent in leaves. Number 2, the autumn equinox is on either 21st, 22nd or 23rd of September. This year it was actually on the 23rd. The average daytime temperature on the Isle of Wight in November is 10 degrees centigrade or Celsius, which is 50 degrees in Fahrenheit. Number 4, what is autumn known as in North America? The fall. And number 5, what is firework night or bonfire night commemorating? The 5th of November 1605, when Guy Fawkes attempted to blow up the Houses of Parliament. Naughty man. Music questions. Number 6. Budapest was recorded in 2014 by George Ezra. And the instrument, sometimes known as a licorice stick, is the clarinet, because presumably of the look and shape of it. Haydn, Joseph Haydn, the Austrian composer, wrote 106 symphonies. If you said 104, you can have that, because 104 of them have been catalogued in one method, and the other two have been sort of not catalogued in the same way, but he did actually write them. Number 9, the all-female group Little Mix comes from London. And the person who wrote the music for Guys and Dolls was a man called Frank Loesser. It's actually spelt Loesser, but that doesn't matter. If you knew it, well done. Then I asked you in world knowledge about New Zealand time being ahead or behind British time. It's ahead. It's actually 11 hours ahead of British time. And time in this country was officially standardised in 1880, on the 2nd of August that year, but don't worry about that particularly. They began to standardise it in about 1847 when George Bradshaw compiled Bradshaw's railway timetable. They had to, otherwise a train could leave somewhere and get somewhere else down the line earlier than it left. So they had to standardise it a bit, but it wasn't official until 1880. The current POTUS, or POTUS, P-O-T-U-S, is actually Joe Biden. POTUS stands for President of the United States. I think it was Donald Trump who loved to use the expression. The two countries who are way, way ahead in terms of their population numbers of any others are China and India. If you got one of them, have half a point if you'd like to. And the proportion of the Earth, the surface of the Earth, which is covered with water, incredibly is over 2/3. If you said 2/3 or nearly 3/4, that's fine. Something in that order. Tremendous amount. A flittermouse is a bat. And going back to classical music for a moment, if you remember, Johann Strauss wrote Die Fledermaus, or Fledermaus, and that was a flittermouse, it was a bat. The four main types of bear are polar, black, grizzly and brown. But if you've got some others and you know they're right, that's fine by me. And if you want to give yourself a quarter point for each one, you're welcome. There were originally 2 stations in Ventnor. You don't have to know the names, but they were actually Ventnor and Ventnor West. I thought it was Ventnor North, but I seem to have been wrong on that. The book which John Buchan wrote, the famous story about Richard Hannay being chased through the Highlands of Scotland, was called The 39 Steps. And the total number of days in 2023 and 2024 put together is 731, because next year is a leap year. So you've got 365 this year and 366 next year. I do hope you enjoyed those. Hope you did well enough to feel good about them. And don't worry if you didn't, it's only fun. And all being well, please do join me again for the next series of Terry's 20 Teasers. Bye for now.
Contact details. Site for White. Telephone 01983 52205. Email inquiries@iwsb.org.uk. Website siteforwhite.org.uk. White Sense. Telephone 01983 240 222. Email info@whitesense.org.uk. Web whitesense.org.uk. Opening hours Monday to Friday 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Dress for Less. Telephone 01983 523 197. Email retail@iwsb.org.uk. Address 57 Pyle Street, Newport, Isle of Wight, PO30 1UL. Newsletter available in the following formats: Alexa, USB,